I want to know how you got. I want to know how you got locked up for, was it 30 years?
Yeah, I had a RICO. Like all the charges that I beat in the state, they picked up. The feds picked them up.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did y'all even know? Like it was on some.
Nah, that's one thing about, you know what I'm saying, especially people today, I be trying to tell you, know what you're dealing with, especially like on the state level. I knew about the state, the charges, how much time you can get and all the rest of that stuff from being in the state. But I was blinded by the feds. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I thought, the level that I was on the street, I never thought, I'm trying to say, I was gonna be no federal shit, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
y'all was making a lot of money though.
But we wasn't making no millions of dollars like Nicki and them. From what Nicki and them niggas saying, they was making 30 million in 1 month. So we wasn't making no 30 million in 1 month. So that's a federal level. You know what I'm trying to say? You look at the mob, they making that type of money, so you feeling like that's a federal level. So they ain't even looking at me. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So now, when you do, you got to realize they start just picking up any kind of crimes, because when I first went to the feds, everybody in there had money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't had no petty crimes in that joint. Everybody in there had money or can call home and get a couple dollars from somebody, whether you're a bank robber or not. But then they start getting everybody low level crimes like gun charges and stuff like that, bringing them in. Now dudes in there with gun charges that really supposed to be in the state. They're in the feds now,
that's right.
and they can't even, they can't even make a commissary or let alone make a phone call. You know what I mean?
Yo, it's funny. Me and G was talking about that before you got here, and I was wondering, like, how do you feel about that? Because when I see like, what's the GS9 dude, Bobby Shmurda and Chef G and all those rappers, and they getting hit with RICO charges.
I think Casanova too.
Casanova, and I'm just like, I'm thinking like you in the sense of like, they getting that kind of money to be getting fed RICO charges and shit like that.
But now, right now, especially with that music, that's the next thing that the feds is targeting. You know what I'm saying? Entertainers and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? They entertain. That's what they targeting. You know.
As we can see with P Diddy.
We gotta get into that too.
Yeah. So if you can talk about your case and how did that result in 30 years? Because when you court never is what they say, what they purport, and how it actually goes down. A lot of times is different.
But like I said, I got caught with a RICO and a lot of charges that they had on my indictment. You know what I'm trying to say? They was life sentence. They was all life sentence charges. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Under 86, so they took. They broke it down, whereas like they gave me a cop out. So I felt that the cop out that I took, I'd rather deal with that than to deal with a life sentence or fight a life sentence. So I copped out of 30 years, not knowing that they didn't really have a real case against me anyway. And I'm gonna explain to you that in a minute. But what happened was, after I copped out, they sent every state that I was in on the East Coast, they sent the charges to them states. The only one that picked it up was Alabama. You know what I'm trying to say? So they had me for a murder down in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So I had got sentenced. They railroaded me down there because I didn't have no paperwork. All my paperwork was in the feds, and they said they lost everything. So basically, they railroaded me going in the door. So I didn't have nothing to fight. Yeah. So I got sentenced to that. But during the time when I get back to the federal, I'm looking over my paperwork, and had I had this, I felt I would have beat it. Yeah. So everything I'm reading over and over, like I used to wake up 2 o'clock in the morning every night. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I was on the death penalty. Like during the day, I didn't feel it, but during that nighttime, I'm thinking about this shit. So I read it over and over and over, and I find little loopholes, and I send it to the lawyer, right? And that happened in 97, 2001. I went back for a retrial, and I beat it, and I defended myself on it. You know what I'm trying to say? I beat it myself due to the fact my lawyers that was on the case with me, everything the prosecutor was saying, they were just, you know what I'm saying, going over with the problem. I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. So I said, Joe, I asked the judge, I said, Your Honor, I would like to defend myself, blah, blah, blah. He said, Joe, such and such. So, but anyway, I wanted to defend myself. So it was a lot of statements that was made that was conflicting with the You know what I'm saying? Like you made this statement right here and said one thing, but you made another statement over here. You saying another thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling my lawyer like, yo, attack them on this because you got these people on the stand. They lying. You know what I'm trying to say? They over exaggerating certain shit. So I wound up beating the case on certain shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna tell you for instance, like it was a police from the 32nd precinct. He came down there all the way down there to testify, and he was like, but now he's working in the feds, and and I was like, so what made you a special agent? He said because he kept everything up in here. So he said he followed me all this time, you know, when I had a 300 ZX, a gray one. So he said he used to follow me and all the time and watch me before it became a federal case. So I'm like, okay, but he said I also had a Land Cruiser back then. You know what I'm saying? But it was champagne. So he said, yeah, I used to follow you in this 300 ZX, a champagne colored 300 ZX. So I'm like, so you said you a special agent and you keep everything up here. So is you colorblind or something like that? Because you said I was driving a champagne colored 300 ZX and I got my title right there. I'm like, yo, from this description right here, it says it's silver. So, you know, I'm attacking certain shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So certain things like that, you know, when the jury hears certain things and you bring it out, what the lawyer's supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they hear certain things, they like, yo, this case is bull. You know what I mean? Just like when through freedom of information, I learned a lot about my case. So when I get back to the feds after my overturn, I start attacking my federal case. But but the thing is this: if you sign a clause like you cop out to this, you can't appeal it. But unless you got new discovered evidence. So my new discovered evidence was like was this: okay, you went to the grand jury and you got this indictment on me. You know what I'm trying to say, with all these charges. But you got the people that went to the grand jury, they was lying. They got caught lying. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they still in there with life sentences. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they told on, y'all copped out to a life sentence, y'all got caught lying, y'all dead, y'all in the jail, y'all gotta do that life sentence. But anyway, they got caught lying. So look, basically, I'm in jail, I did time under a false indictment. You know what I'm trying to say? Because once you caught these people lying, and that's what the grand jury, you
gotta throw it out.
Right, you a taxpayer citizen. The reason why y'all brought this indictment is because what they said. So they supposed to went back to the grand jury with the new people that cleaned up their story. They didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? All my superseded, all everybody came in, they cleaned up their story, and these got caught lying, but they didn't do that. So now when I go to appeal my case, appeal that under a 2255 new discovered evidence, I go to appeal my case. It's on the docket sheet, but the disc from the sonographer, the disc is gone.
What?
And you know what I'm trying to say, even the hard copy, all that's gone. Even though I said, first they were telling me
some shit.
They said because the case is so old, you know, I'm like, it's old. It's from 94 to 2022, 2023. That's not old. You know what I'm trying to say? But they said they sent it to the archives because of that. But yet, no, y'all sending me information on anything I may ask about my case, but y'all lose that. You know what I'm saying? So the judge said they didn't have no merit because I couldn't prove it. I'm like, I don't went through all the proper channels to try to recover this. But the only thing I can say is it's on the docket sheet. You know what I'm trying to say? So, you know, they, you know, I did time that was, you know.
You think he didn't? A judge didn't want to be the one to let you go, type thing. Like,
I think my whole case was political.
Yeah,
my whole case was political. I got to say that because if you read the book, like Jan Reno, that was the Attorney General of the United States. Right. You know what I'm trying to say? That did a hearing. I wish I'd have brought the newspaper clipping. But that was the Attorney General of the United States. You know what I'm trying to say? So if she give a conference saying, yo, she's not liable to do it, but yet no, y'all still sending me to all these other states. Right. You know what I'm saying? After the fact that I copped after 30 years, y'all knew the case was no good anyway. Y'all are supposed to be on the street, and then y'all supposed to got a new indictment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They knew that anyway. And I'm gonna say this because everybody that's looking at this video, they need to know that the lawyer Anthony Rico from Harlem, and that everybody keep dealing with, is nobody. You know what I'm trying to say? Is nobody. He's
Tell it to right there. That's the camera.
When I say this, he's sold out. First, only cases that he ever got somebody off of was a cop. Them cops when they killed the dude. What's the dude?
Amadou?
The dude that had the wedding thing and they shot him like 50-something
Sean
times.
Bell, Sean
Bell. Oh, my God.
He represented them, got them off. You know what I'm saying? So he's a piece.
Wow.
He's a piece.
So don't hire him. Don't hire him.
Because he knew that these people was lying, so they took him off the case. He's supposed to let us know, look, y'all under here on a false indictment, trying to say blah, blah, blah. He never told us that. Why? Trying to say for him to do that and get, I'm just saying, look, he's not right, man.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
God damn.
And they need to know that. Everybody need to know that.
I agree.
Because he's still riding around the Harlem and people still thinking he's a lawyer because he had all these 9/11 cases on that 9. Everything you did for the government. You know what I'm trying to say? You ain't do nothing for the Harlem niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to make sure they know that too.
That's right.
Absolutely. What up, yo? This is Detox Jones. I'm here with my man Lou Sims. This is the Thanks for Asking podcast. Like, comment, and subscribe, because you heard it first.
You already know. We outside today, y'all. Make sure y'all view this joint.
All right.